Hello everyone, it's Daniel from Checkmate Fusion here, checking in with my Bojack list that I placed second at the past weekend's Texas Regional. I made some changes from Nats to now, so I kind of wanted to go over those changes with everyone. Starting from the top, I do recommend running this deck at 50 for those who are interested in trying it. You have a leader that does not naturally draw, and also you don't have any way to search cards in your deck, so it's very important to keep the list at 50. That way you're seeing your optimal opening curve as many rounds as possible. Starting from the top, we still run all four of these guys at 4. These are your optimal starting options. Seeing the Draw Zangia, the Barrier Blocker Bujin. These two you kind of want paired together early. He allows you to establish this as early as turn 1, which is insane when you can set this up turn 1. It just helps the consistency of the deck so much, and then obviously Pilaf Shumai being your best starting turn 1 play. One thing to note about the deck is I'm no longer running the Beto draw ones for additional turn 1 plays. I still like the card. I go back and forth on keeping it in there just for the early game consistency, but I decided to go with more utility options instead. But moving on here, we're moving on to still have 4 of our dual attack Bojacks. I can't stress how good this card is. It gives you basically a free 10k, a bottom deck, a restand one, and a 20k dual attack all in one card. And then sometimes you get to evolve this bad boy 20k dual attack double strike onto him to draw 2. This is my favorite card to play on my awaken turn. Usually I'm ramping on 2, and then on my third turn I'm going into 4 energy, so I play my 4 cost uni. Swing, combo him from energy, leader, awaken, untap 1, draw 2. Playing this guy from the energy as well, you're basically getting, you're just getting so much value for free off of this. It's helping you clear board while also aggressing your opponent and also restanding energy at the end of the turn. Amazing card. Can't stress that enough. Moving on to our 20k double strike Bojack. This is a card that I did not run at Nats, that I did decide to run 4 of at the regional, and I will be using this at 4 from now on. I want to shout out Dane. He basically begged me to run this at Nats. The only reason I didn't run it at Nats at the end of the day was that I honestly just didn't play it quite enough to feel comfortable just throwing it in to the list at the last second. When I was testing it, I was testing it at 2, and it was just like not coming up enough, or it was dying right away. But when you run it at 4, you can just basically just start spamming this card over and over. Important thing to note is that the auto to play it is not once per turn, so you could play him defensively, and then if you have another one in your energy, his own effect is going to play another one of himself. The combo is limit 1 off of his effect, but not to play him is limit 1, which is crazy. This card definitely just adds so much value to the deck. It allows your board state to get out of control so fast if they're not constantly clearing your cards. Most important thing to note too, I don't think I realized when I first read it, is that yeah, this gives you a free combo of a Bojack from your energy, which is great, but not only that, when you add the top card of your deck to your energy, it adds in active mode, which basically is giving you an untap 1 as well. So a combo, 5k, untap 1, which is just wild. Typically people have to prioritize my other good cards to kill, like this guy, or even Bujin if they can. Which ends up letting this guy live sometimes. That's where this deck gets really good. Still running 4 of the 8-drop Bojacks. It's just too good. More free 10Ks. Play it defensively sometimes. Evolve it on the 4-drop. Can't run less than 4. Going to Evildoer here. I've toyed actually with completely cutting this deck out, or cutting this card out of the deck, just because 2 energy is a lot these days, and it's kind of hard to play it sometimes, but at the end of the day, I kept it at 2, and I'm glad I did because I did play it a few times and it does still come up. There is even merit just to keep it at 4, that way you always have that safety net of just additional removal on any given turn, but I think I'm going to keep it at 2 going forward. card I was trying this tournament, which I actually put in just last second, is Bujin the Evildoer. This card's pretty good. He is a blocker that when you play him, it stuns one of your opponent's battle cards greater than their energy until the end of their next turn. So if you play this defensively, it's going to shut down a card greater than their energy for effectively 2 turns, and they can't even combo with it, so it's basically a dead card. The main reason that I put this in is that I thought it would help me a little bit versus Nova. In my Nova match, I didn't end up getting to play it, unfortunately, but I still think it's a pretty good card. I'm not running the negate that's built into the archetype anymore. Like there's debate that it could just be that, but I also wanted another additional like 1 energy target that can play off of this guy. So it just kind of gave me an extra tool. Honestly, I don't think it came up the entire day, but still not a bad card. You could definitely change this out for something else if you like something better, though. Going to Zenos, yeah, or super combos, run 4 Zeno. 4 Zeno's too good. Especially because your leader, you're putting cards into your energy more than you're drawing your cards. You'll run into games where you just ramp like I'll leave like 2 Zenos, like they're just going to end up in your energy. And as long as you have 1 in hand, you basically have access to all your Zenos. So that's why you kind of have to run 4 Zenos. It just helps you fix your deck, and then also it's very hard to kill Bojack through the amount of energy manipulation they have. Moving on to my negate package here, we're running 2 Defending Friends, 2 Heroic Prospect, 2 D-Magic in the main. I've toyed around with cutting D-Magic entirely, but then I do run into games where I feel like I just need an extra way to untap, and it's basically you're either running Dimension Magic or Sensu. I like Dimension Magic just a little bit more because I can self-awaken with it, I can pull my own life, I can untap 2 for 0 with this card. So, and also he stops a big swing as opposed to Sensu's not stopping a big swing. But honestly, there's merit for both. I just personally like Dimension Magic a little bit better. I was very glad that I kept it. It got me out of some tight situations where, I was short on energy, and that extra just negate untap 2 is still too good. So I'm going to be keeping it in from now on. Moving on to my tech options for the deck, we have 2 8-drop Oob. This is just the best generic blue bomb right now. I don't run Broly anymore, and it's mainly just because of deck space issues. One thing to note about the list is that I have increased my Bojack count. I run 24 always now. I don't go any less than that. I have run into games in testing where I just run out of Bojack targets. So I had to increase my my count a little bit to make my deck a little bit more consistent, but that did mean sacrificing on some tech options. So unfortunately, Broly just couldn't make the cut, even though I do love the card. Moving on to Super Saiyan 3 Vegito. This is a card that is still just a great consistency card for the deck. Draw 1, removal, pick something up from your energy. This is usually used to pick up my secret rare. It's also just not a bad card in general. I also like to keep him in always anytime I side in black cards. That way it gives me an additional way to fix my energy. And then Ultra Instinct, Goku's Kamehameha, just more value. Gives me basically like an offensive super since I don't run one with 4 Zenos. And then also that extra combo power at the end of the game when people are trying to kill you. It's very hard to kill Bojack from the sheer amount of 10Ks plus free 15Ks. Usually I'm going to win the dump battle even if my hand is lower. Then still Secret of Choice, Son Gohan Beyond the Ultimate. This card still just is too good, too much of a momentum swing. Anytime the opponent is tapped out, you play this card and it's basically winning you the game. Even if you don't kill them that turn, usually their hand is so decimated by him that, yeah, he just tilts the whole momentum of the game in your favor, even if you are in a bad spot. And then last card here, Turning the Tide. Turning the Tide just gives you an alternate win con. It's too good. especially in a deck that's spamming the board between you and your opponent's turn. Um, I only played this in one match, and it did win me the match, but I'll be going over my matchups later. Going over the Z deck here, I'm now running 10 one-ofs because it is so hard to decide what all to keep in here. And yeah, so I just gave myself as many options as possible, and I played every single card here except for Cell. With that being said, I still would like to keep Cell in. Cell has still won me a lot of games. So when you get to, first of all, just clearing a whole board 5 or less anytime you need it. If people get too greedy and go too wide with a bunch of battle cards, you have an answer for them. Also, when you get to these end of game scenarios where both players are low on cards, this is usually the time that I play him. A sudden dual attack crit is very hard to defend and can help you close out a game. In a perfect world, I would love to be able to run 2 Zangia, 2 Dabura, 2 Black Kamehameha, potentially even 2 of this guy, but yeah, we only have 10 slots, so we have to make sacrifices. The main new addition that I have here is the Android 21 plus the Zamasu. The main reason I actually started running Android 21 is because of that new Son Goku counter. The green one that doesn't let me bottom deck their cards. That card is actually a very big problem for all blue decks, including mine. You need additional ways of removal that's not bottom deck. So when you play this card, you can Z-stack one of their battle cards. So you Z-stack the Sun Goku counter, and then you also get a ramp, you also get an indestructible blocker, and you also get an additional bottom deck. So this is the main reason I started putting this card in the Z deck. I played it a couple times today, and it's still pretty good. There's arguments that still like a second Zangia would be better than it sometimes, but just the versatility of this card, the removal, and now that it has a specific purpose, just made it go into the Z deck for me. Moving on to the side deck here, still running 2 Daburas, half 2 for green. In one of my Nameku matches, I did play both of them, and that did help me not lose, because hand destruction can be very hard on Bojack. 2 Secret Identity Masked Saiyan. The only reason I'm running this is because of the aforementioned Son Goku counter. With that being said, Overwhelm's still a great card. I didn't plan on siding it versus anything else, but there still could be matchups like maybe red. It could be put in as well. I just typically don't like to put in black cards unless I feel like I have to. So now I feel like I have to because of that Son Goku counter. That card is a big problem. Running 2 Koitsukai, this is mainly for any blue mirror, and then also any mill decks, I'm putting it in. 2 SGR Sun Gohan, this card is still just pretty much for Nova. I did side it in my black matchups as well, as it gives you an additional way to kill Evil Saiyan, even defensively. And then also we're running 2 more Defending Friends, 2 more Prospects. So basically I can go to 4 of each of the Floodgate depending on the matchup. I like 4 Defending Friends versus any red deck, but like especially Vegeta. And then Heroic Prospect I want at 4 versus Nuova. And sometimes green as well. It's probably worth at least upping it to maybe at least 3. Here we're running 2 Baby Golden Avengers. To be honest, I just wasn't sure what to put for these last 2 spots. I know I wanted some type of counterplay or counter in some way for basically Oceanus Floodgate, so like any mill decks. And then also I want to give a shout out to Victor. He's a local in Arizona who plays Green Gohan religiously, and with his build, the only way I can beat him is if I play Baby Golden Adventures. He was supposed to be there at the tournament this weekend, which kind of forced me to have to run these. But he wasn't able to make it in the end. So they never came in because I never played against any mill deck, but if I did play a mill deck, I would have put it in for sure. And then moving on to second copy of Turning the Tide. Second copy for Mill, because Mill is still very hard for this deck. I still respect it. Mill's still pretty good. It's just there's other decks keeping it out of the format. But yeah, that's the 50 card deck. I will continue to make changes and updates as I continue to play the deck. I do still feel like, even though I've put a lot of time and effort into this deck, that I'm still getting better, still learning new things, learning new lines, trying different lists. I feel like there is always room for improvement, so I will continue to do so, and I'll probably be running this still for the foreseeable future. Going into my matchups for the day, I started with a Namaku. Namaku is probably my second most played deck next to Bojack right now. I do very much like that deck as well, but I do feel very comfortable playing against it, as I just have so many reps on it. I was able to get my round one. Round two was against Yellow Broly, which that deck can be tricky to navigate sometimes. But I did have a Pilaf Shu Mai plus SGR to kill his initial garlic blocker. And from there, I was able to kind of clear his uni. He wasn't able to really maintain my board at that point, and it kind of just got out of hand for him. Moving on to round number three, I faced Blue Gogeta, the new one, Gogeta BR. That deck is really good. I actually play that deck a decent amount as well. It draws so much and it just has so many different tools. But we were both kind of just aggressing each other, and he kind of got to his turn where he felt like he had to go for it. He went his 8-drop Gogeta SR into the new Gogeta Secret Rare. And that turn, he did get me to 1 life, but I was able to clear his secret rare with on the back of Pilaf Shumai plus SGR as well. You're noticing a common theme here. Pilaf Shumai is extremely good. In my opinion, probably like the best card that actually costs 1 in the game right now. But moving on to number 4, Namaku. Another Namaku, we had a really close match where he had to go into Celzino on me and kind of hope that it got him there. I had a bunch of negates in my hand when he played Celzino. I had kind of prepared for it. Um, and I was able to double prospect that turn, and he had to just dump his whole hand to swing through it. And I was able to get there. It was a very close game though. Moving on to number 5, this was against Nova, which was against our national and world champ, Brian Samuel. We got a rematch, which was super fun. It was honestly super close. It was crazy that it's super close because I probably saw as well as I possibly could have. I Galactic Bustered on pretty much like off the get-go, like every turn, I think, defensively, almost every turn. I double ramped that game. When I double ramped to go to 6, I would be going to 7 next turn with Tide in my hand. And Brian did snuff that out, so he went all in to kill me. I barely got out of that in the end. I think I actually played this card twice on my turn defensively to get out of that turn, which is just crazy. It kind of just shows the ridiculous amount of energy that Bojack can play with sometimes. But yeah, going into tie the next turn did win me the game. And then matchup number 6, round 6 was against Super 17, Red Super 17, which props to that guy. Like, no one's been putting that deck on the map, but I am fortunate enough that I did play the deck a decent amount when it first came out. I put thorough testing into it to see if I could get it to work. I never played it with the new promos, but I did have a general idea of what that deck wanted to do. Another matchup where Pilaf Shumai was just so good because their best card is the 8-drop super rare Android Super 17 that gains barrier, and Pilaf Shumai just getting rid of barrier and being able to kill that card just makes it so they don't get much value off of it. I also went into 4 prospects in that matchup because I know that everything that deck plays is like 6, 7s, and 8s. So he was having trouble getting pressure through the prospects. Then moving on to my final round, which was against Panzino. This was against, I believe his name was Nick. I believe that's his Bandai name at least. But man, props to that guy. He put Panzino on the map. It's freaking awesome. I've actually been dabbling with that deck a little bit, and I did think it was very strong, but I couldn't make it I couldn't find like a build good enough, at least in time. At least finding a build that I thought could compete with Nova. I was really having trouble with that matchup. I'm sure he had probably a better plan than I did for it, but honestly, he played the game great. He beat me fair and square. This was a game where I didn't see one Galactic Buster, which did hurt me a lot. So yeah, I didn't see one, but with that being said, I still think he played the game way better than I did with the cards that he had access to. I believe that he said it was his first regional, so he won his first regional, so props to him. That's awesome. Going over the whole weekend, it was so much fun. Unfortunately, I only got in like Friday night and left right after the tourney. There's part of me that wishes I would have stayed longer to hang out with some of the guys. But had a super fun weekend. Came out with Jared and Landon. Had a great time there. The tournament was super fun. Everyone was super nice, super fun to play against. I'm glad I didn't have any games go to time. I honestly rarely have games go to time with Bojack, which I do love about the deck. Just to give some shout outs real quick, shout out to the team Checkmate Fusion and shout out to AZ boys. I hope to finally win one of these tournaments one of these times, but I can't be too mad with the results so far. It's been so much fun, and I'll see you at the next one.